Hello, good morning.
Hi.
Hi,
Good
Morning.
morning.
good morning. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody on this big day. All right. Oh, good. Good, 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 good.
More filtering in.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's how we do things.
Wednesday meet.
That's how they work. That's how they work. And that's fine. Just get here as soon as you can. Good morning, Adrian.
Special guest.
Good to see you. This is your guest day? I had it down for today.
Yay, I'm here. I made it.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, you've been to these meetings. I have my personal message, and then I will turn the mic over to you. So
All right.
let's,
Thanks.
very good. All right. Then let's have a look. What's going on today? All right, Veterans Day. I think I posted this before, but here's is again because Veterans Day is Monday. And here's a social media post. Boy, there's some funny social media posts I was looking at. Somebody said there were so many yard signs out there. I think I voted for a realtor.
Yes, I saw
But
that.
a lot of people were putting that up. That was funny. Okay, so make the most out of the Veterans Day Facebook post. And welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate, November 6th, 2024. Always check that that's right. All right. So there's 2 months more. And we have 2 months to do deals. We have 2 months to take listings, 2 months to get sales made, 2 months to get a few closings under our belt, 2 months to accumulate leads for 2025. This could be the best 2 months. If you work hard, this could be the best 2 months, but now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, some things to think about: be a lot stronger in your pre qualifying process and presentation because you learn so much by pre qualifying. You learn how to spend your time based on how they're going to spend their time. Make sure that the motivation to do something, either buy or sell with your client, is at least a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. So, the name of the game in 2024 and 25 is pre qualifying. Whether it be a buyer or seller, finding out the motivation is key. With the interest rates playing games with us, the economy slowing down a little bit, the housing shortage and affordability challenges, these are all require strong motivation on the part of the client. So don't waste your time with somebody who's not really going to do anything. And of course, explain all of those things to them as well. But most agents, the agents that spend their time questioning a buyer or seller prospect for motivation are the people that have the most success. And don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. Don't get halfway into your process and find out they haven't made their mortgage payment in 90 days. You need to know everything that is on our pre-qualification list. And look at your listing packet. Simplify your pre-listing packet. It's designed to save you a lot of time. Think about the length of time you spend on a listing presentation. It should only take 10 to 15 minutes. Isn't that what we tell them? We'll be there for 10 to 15 minutes. So just send them a CMA with a suggested list price, a net sheet with all the costs that break it down for them, and your sales plan of action. Obviously, any contract that they have to sign completely filled out and waiting for them to sign, ready to go. Keep the pre-listing package as simple as possible because it allows them to read those parts that they want to read before you get there. They can jot questions down if they have them. And instead of going in thinking you're going to be there for an hour or an hour and a half, go in with the attitude that you're going to be there for 15 to 20 minutes because that's really how long it takes to do the work. All right, practice the listing presentation. So we have a 5-point listing presentation. A couple of times a year, I'll present it during the Wednesday meetings. It's on the hub. So make sure you're familiar with the 5-point listing system because it's the best in the industry by far. Once you work on that and practice that, you will be the obvious choice when you go in to get a listing. So The people that use our presentation verbatim are listing anywhere 5, 10, 20 listings a month. That's in the Mike Ferry system. The people who use it in our system, in the North Star system, are our top producers. The more you practice, you'll notice that the one thing you're going for you is the confidence. You will be so confident. If you role play, here's what I always recommend doing. If you role play with somebody else and you get good at it, you are just itching to find a real person to give that presentation to. It is really an exciting thing to know that you have an answer for every question or everything that they come up with. So definitely have a look at the 5-point listing presentation if you haven't looked at it in a while. Finally, I'm going to skip this one. Finally, identify the value you bring to a potential buyer. And what I want you to do is when you have a buyer, you have to take complete charge, because if you're wishy-washy in today's environment and with the confusion today, you're going to blow it. So take complete charge of the buying process from the very beginning. Present the buyer broker agreement, explain how it works and the various scenarios for how that commission can get paid. It's their responsibility, but it might be paid by the seller. All these things happen and how they want to go through it. Buyers will appreciate your knowledge and your frankness. And if they don't get that, they'll move on to another agent and end up signing the exact same paper that you asked them to sign because they have to. Be prepared to discuss how you earn your commission. So is it your knowledge of the sales process? Is it your ability to negotiate prices and repairs? Is it your experience working with lenders to navigate the complex loan products, whatever? And I think it is probably all of those things. So whatever it is, be prepared to let them know that you're worth the commission. So let's take advantage of what's been a great year so far and continuing. And it's going to be a strong fourth quarter. And remember to treat your business like a business. Yeah. Okay, we have a guest today, Adrienne Butzer with Environmental Works. We're happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Wow, I sat down and I was like, what do I talk about with you all? There's so many things. I could talk about networking. I could talk about what Environmental Works does. So in the typical fashion of me and a squirrel with ADHD, I'm going to share it all with you.
Great.
So yeah, I actually have a cute little PowerPoint I tried to make. So hopefully I can share my screen. Well, maybe I can't. Let's see here. What does technology show me? I think, do I just hit share screen? Is that what I do? Maybe
you have that option right now.
Okay, let's see here. PowerPoint. There we go. That way you don't have to see all the chaos in my life. All right, there we go. Maybe. Can you see it?
We see it.
Yay. All right. So maybe I'll start at the beginning because that actually helps. There we go. So yeah, I did not start in the real estate world. However, I have had an amazing opportunity in the real estate world. My background actually started in political science and zoology with school, which clearly I don't do that. And I worked 15 years as a fashion buyer for a small organic baby company. I traveled all over buying baby clothes. Part of the reason I'm telling you this is that we'll get to the end and explain to you why it's important. But I spent 4 years with an engineer as his assistant, and that's what started real estate for me. He bought tax liens, and I had no idea what a tax lien was. And I laughed, but I was like, I'm smart. I've got 4 college degrees because my other 2 are in art. I can do anything because, right? That's the attitude of somebody in their 30s. I can do it all. And I called county offices and I learned and I asked questions. And then he bought some property and I had to learn to be a property manager on top of his personal assistant and managing his life. And because he believed in me, it taught me a lot of opportunity. And then he died. And I vowed I'd never work for an old man again because it was so sad. So I went to go work for someone super young. And he was a real estate mogul. And we sold 1,200 homes a year in 260 states, or sorry, we had 260 agents in 26 states. We were huge. So it seemed amazing. It was a great opportunity. Real estate was amazing. And then I got my license and I realized it's not amazing. It's really hard.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter how charming and cute you are. It doesn't matter how talented you think you are. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how much education you have. It is hard and it is a hustle. And so I decided that I really liked supporting people, and being an agent wasn't for me. And then the shift happened and life got hard. And I went into mortgage, which seems stupid now looking back. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about a lot of things in both those industries. I made an amazing sphere in both those industries. So when I sat in a cruise ship in the middle of the Bahamas and I said, I'm not coming back to my job. I can't breathe. I can't do this anymore. Who needs a me? I wrote 4 people, and one of those people was Andy from Environmental Works. And she said, we need you, without even a hesitation. And I came back from that trip in the Bahamas on a Sunday. I arrived at Environmental Works on a Tuesday, and 2 weeks later I started. He never even looked at my resume, but because someone had told him I was amazing, he believed I was amazing. So the reason I tell you this is if you believe that you can do something, you can do anything. It doesn't matter what your background is. If you hustle, you hustle. It doesn't matter whether you're in real estate, whether you're in mortgage, whether you're in title, whether you're doing what I do in business development. It is all the same. If you don't build your pipeline, if you're not constantly hustling, it dries up. You have nothing. So as anybody who knows me knows, I spend a lot of time doing things that people wonder, why is she doing that? Seems like she's just at a party all the time. But the reality is that that's building that pipeline. I am constantly working, and I'm always thinking about 5 steps behind me, not what's happening today or what's happening ahead of me. I'm not spending the money I make today. I'm not thinking about the money I'm going to make. I'm always thinking about what I need to be doing to be relevant, because I can be replaced. I am replaceable, just like you are with your clients, just like you are with, your businesses. And when you haven't been real estate agents, and you're always replaceable. It doesn't matter how great you are. And I got to tell you that I found that out because I thought I was pretty great when I worked for my old man, and then he died. So it doesn't matter how great you are. Everything has a finite end. And that is what I learned. So yeah, I have a lot of opportunity because of the people I've met. Never underestimate the person you have met, and never wrong somebody, because you never know when you're going to need them again. That is my best advice as a human. So on to Environmental Works. So I ended up at Environmental Works. I've been here now almost 2 years, and I love my job. I have the greatest job in real estate at this point. If I leave this job, I leave real estate, because it doesn't get better than this. I truly have an amazing job. I get to help the community. I get to solve the world's problems. And yes, we have a great product. The fact of the matter is you're going to choose whoever you choose, because we all have great products. I'm not going to bash my competitors. That's silly. But what makes us stand out is people like me. We care. And that's what matters. There's the like, no, trust, which all takes time. Nothing happens yesterday. Nothing happens today. Some of the people I'm working with right now, I've been working on those for 3-4 years before I ever was even in the job I'm in, because that's what it is. It's always a hustle. You're always working. It's not today. And I remind myself of that every day when I'm with someone and they're like, well, I already used so-and-so, or I use my home inspector. I'm never asking you to break up with someone. I'm saying when they let you down, I'm here to help be your number 2. So please just give me that opportunity. And so that is what I say to people. And I think that stands in every industry. So with that being said, that is the fabulous little me and a little history of me. I'm going to give you a little history of Environmental Works. So Environmental Works, this is our 15th year of business, which is kind of special between 2 major, our company started right after 2008, which was a shit show, excuse my language, but we all know that. Here we are standing here amidst another crazy real estate chaos. And we had our best year last year in 15 years. We made $1.5 million more than any one year we've been in business. And it's not because our product changed. It's not because our pricing changed. It's because we got serious about how we feel about our clients and how we invest in our clients. It's something very different that most businesses don't do. And it's really easy for me to have my hands out asking you all for your business, but I want to show you why you want to be in business with me, because frankly, who doesn't want to be in business with good people? So I try every day by serving our community, by getting out there. I hate to lead generate. I will never pick up the phone and cold call people. I hate that. So what I did was find out a way I could do life without doing that. Social media is the greatest thing that ever happened. 3 years ago, I sat there with Julie Unger from EXP, and she sat there, and I swear to God, the lights went on and the heavens opened. And she told me, if I just make stupid videos about my life, people care and they'll start to follow and watch. And suddenly my work is so much less hard. if I just tell people I'm real and I'm human, not about what I do for a living, not about what my business does, but that I, as a person, am this hot mess of sparkles and unicorn and pizza. And that somehow was going to make me hugely successful without ever having to pick up a phone. And you know what? It did. It was amazing. So I choose to grow my business through networking because I believe growing other people is the best way to grow yourself. Another business is your best advocate. And we have an opportunity because we can trade our services. Let me be your mouthpiece for you being my mouthpiece. Let me share your business for sharing my business. Reciprocal relationships, we often forget how important that is, that we are in a relationship currency. You cannot just be out there with your hands out asking the world for your business. You have to be a two-way street, because if you deplete that trust account, it eventually is empty and you cannot keep putting things back into it. There's only so much in it. So as a vendor, as a person, whatever, I choose to run my business like I run my life, and it's be loyal and be a good human. So yeah. And who doesn't want to be in business with someone who does good things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That has been a great way for me to get away from having to ever cold call. It works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. And I understand that. But I will say, if you are a person who does not like to do something, that just means find a better way to do it. Be more creative. You're not a tree, move. You don't have roots. So back to our company. So Matt and Joel met in grad school 15 years ago. They were both environmental scientists. One went to go work for DEQ, the other went to go work for construction. And after a couple of years, they were like, we're miserable. We hate this, and this is not what we want to do. So they started Environmental Works. They wanted to be in business with good people. They wanted to show people why it is important to be in business with good people. And they run our business like a family, which is very unique. I often remind myself that I work for two scientists, not two businessmen, and that is a huge difference. They have so much love and passion. They give people so many more chances than they probably should, but it's because they care not only about our clients, but they care about the people in our office. And that's something you don't get very often with businesses in this day and age, is heart. And Environmental Works, and that's why at the end of the day, I'm here, is the heart of the company. I mean, I know at the end of the day, I had a major situation last year where I had my whole house flood. We were leaving for the airport and I had 80 gallons of water. And this is not my refrigerator problem, mind you, for those who know me. This was a separate water problem. And I was in tears and I was having a panic attack in the airport and I could not get on the airplane. And they turned to me and they're like, don't worry about it. Made a phone call. They're like, we got you. We'll take care of this. I will tell you what, I was in Las Vegas and there were people digging trenches in my backyard, making a French drain to try and solve at least the immediate problem. That was not the ultimate problem, but they were there that quick to say, hey, let's stop the water coming in your house. Let's figure it out. And so that says a lot. And mind you, this is why all the pipes are bursting and everybody's life is falling apart too, that I wasn't put back as number two. One of the guys actually came out well after hours and was like, I can't leave you like this. That says a lot to me, that the lowest man on the totem pole and the highest man on the totem pole are worried about me. That is a company I want to be part of. So that's what's unique about Environmental Works. What's really special is we do really put out a lot for our clients, obviously, not only by supporting you guys with your client appreciation events. I can't tell you how many pumpkin patch events I went to this year, how many Christmas events I will be going to. If you have something and you tell me, that is something that I take very serious. If you're giving me your business, why wouldn't I want to do that for you and support you? So yeah, that's just a little bit in a nutshell about Environmental Works and us. Obviously, our guys are very skilled. There's no doubt about that. Here's some lovely pictures of radon, which is what we do, the inspections, and we do the mitigation. We do decommissioning and locating of heating oil tanks, and we do the repairs and scoping of sewers, as well as we have a full service plumbing business. I mean, that's the general stuff we do, but a lot of stuff people don't know is we do phase 1, 2, and 3 for new builds. We do soil sampling. We do boring and drilling of sewer and water lines, excavation. We do trenchless repairs to the sewers, which for those of you that don't know some of those options, we do cured in place pipelining, which is blowing an epoxy sleeve through a sewer line, which saves your clients from having to replace a whole sewer. And it's probably $10,000, $15,000 cheaper. We can do bursting of it, where you burst the sewer line and we take 2 holes that we dig, one on each side, and we feed a pipe through it. So there are lots of options that we have that give your clients a lot of opportunity. But also what's unique is that because we do the inspections, we can get the bid to you within 24 hours. Unlike when you go through your home inspector and then you have a problem, then you've got 3 to 4 days to find somebody, get that bid, get them out there. But we can also bid from your third-party home inspectors. Like, I am not asking you to break up with your home inspector, but that being said, we have the same pass fails as your home inspector. The only difference is all we look at all day are those three things. So we know what we're looking for very specifically, as opposed to somebody who's looking at 8,000 things. And, I don't fault them, but the reality is my home inspector missed a broken main on my house. That actually ended up being my first water problem in this house. And so it was quite devastating to find that I had moved into a house that has a $15,000 problem 2 years into living into it that isn't covered by my home warranty. So that is why I say there is something to be said about having an expert. And again, we're not out there failing stuff. We wouldn't be in business this long if we were failing stuff on purpose, because nobody would want to be in business and everybody would know. So yeah, that's kind of what's unique. Here's some more fun dirty job pictures, because who doesn't love a good dirty jobs? Wish Mike Rowe was in there. He's way cuter than some of our people, but what can you do? So yeah, I think that's what kind of makes us unique in that you're also getting the same people every time you talk. I mean, the reality is when you call the sewer department, you will always get Dwight and Evan or Tyler. When you call our radon, you will always get Mark or Sam. You will always get Lionel and Joey in your heating department. You always get Christian in our plumbing department. So you are building a rapport with someone that you can say, hey, remember that thing that we did? And they're going to go, oh yeah, not who are you? What's the address? We do everything in-house. We do not sub anything out. So you are not getting some rando, oh, I got to go to Joe Blow to get this, to get that. It is all known in-house. Everybody knows what's going on. Oh, something we can do too, which is newer to us, is when the economy tanked and we were all freaking out, we started putting superchargers in. So if you have an EV car, it turns out when you buy a Tesla or a Rivian, they don't send you home with a charger. And it's $8,000 to have it put in. We can do them for around $6,000. So we've been able to kind of undercut some of our competitors and help solve a problem that people needed. So that's kind of a unique thing too, that we can do, and creating something that was a need by what people say. We're going to be adding septic, I think, within the next year, because we've had so much need and question for it. We have all the equipment. We just need to hire someone who knows how to do it. And my bosses will not bring out something until they know we have a fully backed department. We will never compromise quality just to get a product out. So yeah, that's kind of unique. Something else that is a little bit unique too is that we will take money out of escrow for costs of repairs. So that helps you out with your clients. We offer financing if for some reason it's not an escrow situation. We have an amazing vendor list. I mean, I go to probably 7 to 10 networking events a week. So we've vetted a lot of people out there. I also have something for me is I can't ask you for my business if I wouldn't use you in my own business. So I try to really use a lot of vendors so that I can tell you, I've used this person personally, they're great. I will never tell you someone is great unless I've tried them, which I feel like a lot of people often will tell you, oh, I know this person is fine. And then you get that person, you're like, you recommended this person to me. They made me wait for 4 days and they didn't show up and they didn't call and blah, blah, blah. I never want to be that person. My reputation is everything. So yeah. So that's kind of in a nutshell. I have no idea. I didn't time. I was going to time. I probably went way less, but oh, some other unique things. Radon. Radon is the second largest killer to lung cancer. More people die every year in the state of Oregon from radon poisoning than they do drunk driving.
Wow.
So get your radon test. It's very inexpensive and it could solve a lot of problems for you in your life. I mean, it's amazing how scary radon can be. The other day we were having this conversation. So the EPA requires the 4-point, as we all know. The World Health is 2.7, and a lot happens. 50% of the lung cancer comes between that 4-point and that 1-point, or that 2.7. So you will be seeing the EPA dropping it down to 2.7 in the near future. We actually guarantee 1.7 to mitigate, because we believe that we should be mitigating as low as you can possibly get. We guarantee the work for the lifetime of the house. So it's not a double guarantee. So if you sell your house is still warranted. Your mitigation system is still warranted. Obviously a sewer line has a lifespan, so that we can't lifetime warranty, but we warranty it. I think it's like 15 or 30 years, which we feel is a fair amount of time. So yeah, we tend to be very modest in what we do. We try to really be integrity and not just charge the realtors, the property owners. We really want to save people money. We want to be in business. We want people to want to be in business with us. So obviously we're not always going to be the cheapest. If you find somebody who's cheaper, come back and say, hey, I got this guy, he came in cheaper. We'll try and match it. But, it's like anything. You can buy at JCPenney's or you can buy at Nordstrom's and you're going to get different service. And that's just a reality. So there are some things we can't match. And I tell people, I get it. And I respect that. you know? And if it's a flip or it's an investment property, maybe it's not as important. And I understand that. Or in property management world, I understand that that has a different flavor. But if it's my personal home, sometimes that middle grade person is the better place to be. So I try to remember the adage, you can buy cheap and cry every day, or you can pay a little more and cry once. So yeah, does anybody have any questions for me?
I do.
All right, ask away.
What do you typically charge for a home inspection for radon?
Oh, that's a fabulous question. Sorry, I was going to say that. So our general prices for radon are, or I mean for inspections are $99 for sewer, $95 for radon, and $125 for tanks, or $299 for all three. However, through the month of November till the 29th, all inspections are $49. So, and if you're on our mailing list, we will occasionally even do free inspections, but we only do them for people who are on our mailing list. So that's a great way to get in. You can send me, and here, my next slide will tell
So
you.
that was sewer, radon, and what was the third one?
Heating oil tanks.
Oil tanks.
And
Okay.
so for a general sweep is 125. If we have to come out there with the GPR, which is the ground penetrating radar, then it's a little more expensive. If you were to have a property where you're sure there's a tank, but you can't find it and you have nothing showing it's being decommissioned, it's like a lawnmower that we go through the property. It's about $250 and it goes down 25 feet. And it's how they used to find landmines. So we found some interesting things with it.
The reason why I asked is because in Idaho, there are some properties that have radon.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
in the event that there's radon, what do you do about it?
So we put in a mitigation system. It's totally solvable. So obviously in water, radon doesn't matter because it's open air and it's moving around and there's so minimal particles. But when you trap it in a house is when it becomes an issue. So they would put in a vapor barrier if there was a crawl space. If there's not a crawl space, they will drill in. They'll put a tubing in the least conspicuous place, whether it's the garage, the laundry room, just where you don't see it. And then there's a thing outside a fan that they put in and they put a nice little soffit over it. Here, let's see if I can find can I go back? And so, yeah, they make it look as presentable as possible. And I'm trying to see, sorry. So basically this right here, I don't know if you can see my pointer, but that little white thing that looks sort of like a machine attached to the house, that's a fan. And so then that basically air filter system is moving air constantly through the house to keep the radon from trapping in the house. So I always tell people if you bought your house in the summer, you should always retest radon in the winter months because your house is open and flowing air in the summer. Is locked tight in the winter. So you're going to have a very different reading no matter what if you bought your house in the summer over the winter, always.
So you're recommending to do it in the summer?
No, I'm saying if you bought a house in the summer, you should always retest your house for radon at some point. Every 3 to 5 years, you should be retesting your house. Houses settle, they crack, different things happen, ground shift, soil moves, erosion. Anytime you have done any remodeling, unearthing stuff, you should always have your house retested.
And the minimum EPA rating is 2.7, you said?
The 4 point is the EPA. The World Health Organization says 2.7. And I don't know in Idaho. Well, I think it's the same in Idaho, the EPA. I don't think it's any different. It's a national organization. So I would have to think it's the same. And I would say because you're in Idaho, this isn't as fun for you. But here in Oregon, if you're a realtor, we have a program because we want to show you why you're doing it. We tell you that we will sewer scope your house, we will radon test your house, and we will do a tank locate on your house if you think there's a tank for free so you can see what it's like to work with us. So we're not asking you to tell your clients to use this. We're showing you by coming into your home what the experience is like, what it's like to work with us, what from start to finish that looks like. So that way you can tell your clients, this is what it's like working them. This is what a radon test is, because you recommend these probably all the time, but I don't know how many of you've actually had it, because if you bought your house at a certain point, people didn't even do them at a certain point, and certain states have different things. Like I'm from New York, they don't do it. Like they just don't, but we have a huge radon problem. It's crazy.
Wow.
So Joel, who is the one with the scruffy beard and the hat in the picture, he actually goes down to Salem regularly to work on legislation for underserviced communities like seniors, children, because though you have to test with a home purchase, you don't have to test when you buy commercial property. And there are a lot of underserviced communities that government-run facilities don't require, like our schools do not require, if you're in a public school, to have it tested for radon. A lot of the private schools and charter schools have it in their charters, but the public schools do not require it. Our children sit in old buildings full of lead paint and radon every single day for 8 hours, and we have no idea.
Are you in Idaho?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you in Idaho?
I'm not. I wish I was because I'd be much more helpful to you. But there are some amazing companies out there. And I definitely think, always be an advocate for health. I mean, we're talking a minimal amount of money for solving people's problems. Lung cancer is so serious in the big picture. And if you could take away that one little factor, maybe it's not going to solve it. You may still get it because environment is environment. But if you could take one factor out, when they tested for this, they looked at women who were housewives, who were in their homes back in the day when we didn't go out and do things. You stayed at home all day with your kids, you cooked, you cleaned, and they took a 10-year window. And over 70% of those women in that test group died of lung cancer.
Goodness.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. And like when you hear the stories when we do our education, there's a story of someone who talks about how she didn't know why her husband had died of lung cancer. He never smoked, this, that, and the other thing. And it wasn't until they had their house tested and it came up so high for radon that they realized what had actually happened.
Wow.
And so this year we actually had an amazing opportunity. The Gresham Fire Department had a really shitty, and it is that word, situation. They have lost 10 firefighters in 5 years from cancer. And granted, they go into burning buildings, there's other factors, but their radon testing in their place was 50 picocuries. I mean, so 4 is the least that we will let you get away with, and 50 is where they were at.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And so we did it for free because we just decided that we wanted to support our community. It's in our neighborhood. And 2 of the guys who had died in the last year, it was just shocking because they're like, we spent 10, 12, 14, 18, 20 hours here waiting for a fire to happen, days on end. Like we are stuck in a toxic thing. And here we are trying to save our community. And a lot of those people are volunteers. So it's really quite sad.
You're in Washington and Oregon, right?
We're in Washington, Oregon. So we'll go all the way up to Kalama. So we don't go any farther. If you're in Seattle, Tacoma, unfortunately, I can't help you. It just doesn't, we don't have the staff to do it. It doesn't pay for the travel cost to go up there. And then we'll go all the way down to Salem. We'll go all the way out to the Oregon coast. We'll go up to the mountains.
Oh, okay.
We
So pretty much
will-
everywhere we serve. Nice.
We will go to places like we've done Eugene and stuff for an entire school because it was, $100,000 job. If there's a situation where it makes sense, we will have people travel, but it doesn't always make sense and pencil out for you guys. And if we'll be honest, like we'll refer somebody to you closer to you because it doesn't make sense to pay us to do that for your clients.
Nice. Well, I just put in a link for Idaho, a government website regarding radon that would also help direct you to locals in the Treasure Valley. And the reason I'm not putting in Oregon or Washington is because Adrian is here. So
And I can actually get you a fabulous map, John and Nick, that you guys can share with your community that actually shows the radon hotspots. It's not an exact, but it shows what zip code by zip code here in Oregon are rough. Because so I'll explain to you why we have such bad radon here. Is during the 1600s, we had a flood, the Alameda flood. It came through, the Missoula flood, it came through the Alameda Ridge, and it brought a bunch of uranium into our soil. And so all along that Alameda Ridge here, you have serious radon problems. So anywhere with high uranium is likely to have radon. Radon lives, it's a basically nuclear product that lives within the soil that comes out of uranium. And it is it's an off-gassing. You don't see it, you don't smell it, but it is incredibly toxic when it is contained. When it is left open air, you're fine, but it's
strangely totally natural. Interesting.
Natural. It's so freakishly weird. It's like one of those anomalies that we just, you can't fix it. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is keep your house ventilated and moving, because as long as the air is moving, it's not a problem. It's trapped. It's like bouncing off the wall. Like there's a great video when we teach this class for you guys. It's in a hyperbaric chamber and you see radon, it starts bouncing off and then starts growing. And it's like the weird way sci-fi shows AI growing. That's how radon grows when it's trapped. It's creepy.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
So it's not just man-made things that can cause serious health issues, folks.
It is.
Nature can do it.
Nature, absolutely, absolutely. And then the other thing I'll say is for those of you who are local, there's a site called the Lust, LUST.gov. Be sure .gov is on there or you will see things you don't want to see. But it does tell you if a tank has been decommissioned or not. So there is a way to find out if be very mindful, that might be ugly. But But yeah, so there's a site that says if tanks have been decommissioned. And so we recommend that. We also can give you, whatever insight. If you have a question because you just can't find it or don't know, call us. We're a huge wealth of resource. We don't just want your business. We want to be here to be your phone a friend. For those of you who used to watch the Cash Cab, we want to be your mobile shout out. Like, call us. Like, we want to be the problem solvers. That's the greatest thing about our company is, we're here community supporting community. We are only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. And we want to surround ourselves with amazing people.
Nice.
Thanks for letting me talk and be here.
Well, yes. No, thank you so much. I'm a little embarrassed because I just remembered, I knew the name of your company was familiar, but you're the oil tank people.
We
And we've been
are.
using you for decades. I think that's how realtors know you.
Yay.
So yes,
Yeah.
you commissioned a lot of oil tanks for me, and always good work over the years.
Yay. Well, we're not perfect. We make mistakes, but the thing is, you're only as good as how you handle your mistakes. And it's really important. So as agents, if you have a problem, reach out to me, call me personally, and I will solve it. Like, I need to know if you have a problem because every once in a while something comes up and we use it as a growth opportunity, but it's only valuable if you tell us the problem. If you hold it and you're like, screw them, I hate them, I can't fix that. And we can't grow as a company because we don't know the problem. So yeah, always let me know if you have an issue. But for the most part, I mean, we've got, I don't know, 700, 800 5-star reviews. Like, we are a company that really stands behind what we do. So we want to be as great. You're only as good as your weakest link, and we want to be great. So
Nice.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
thanks.
Okay, let's get on and let's look at our production. So let's, as we talk real estate, let's congratulate ourselves and see if we have anything new, anything that anybody would like to highlight. Kung, what do we have in Oregon?
Yeah, we're having agents staying busy during this fourth quarter. We have Niath going under contract on another property in Northwest Portland. Lena going under contract representing a buyer in North Portland. And let's see, on the coast we have Trudy Holman going pending as well on a buyer represented transaction. And she closed on one of her listings last week in North Bend. So congrats to all of our agents.
Yes.
Oh, and I have 2 offers on my lot.
Ah,
So
Nice.
good. Yes. The lot.
the commercial listings don't show on this map, unfortunately, but we have
Right.
commercial listings that are in escrow, actually.
That will be nice. That will be nice. Shauna Dolby is in Detroit at a conference of all places,
Yes.
and she was invited by a lender, all expenses paid trip to Detroit, and I hope she's enjoying herself. Mario, how is Idaho?
We have a new listing from Lee Lanigan. She has a manufactured home. That's the first photo on the screen
There it is. Let's have a look.
for 75,800. She
Ah.
has 2 listings right now. Annie Bulow has 1. Jeffrey Jensen has 1. So and then Augie has 4. So we have a total of 7 listings at the current time.
Great. Okay, well, I love to see affordable housing. So that's excellent. That's excellent. Okay. Good work. 28 listings when there's a housing shortage. So we have plenty of inventory to sell to get us through the winter. So good work.
Yes.
All right. So how is the market? And a great agent? Is it a great agent? Understands it so well they can explain it to people. So explain this. Mortgage rates went up to 6.72. And without any explanation. And so I went to the New York Times, I went to money.com. The only explanation anyone has is that it's election jitters. And that's why the markets were reluctant to lend at the lower rates that they had been at for a few weeks. Anyway, the election is over, if you didn't notice. So hopefully the uneasiness is over one way or the other. And let's see what they do going forward. But they did go back up to 6.7. We'd like to see them in the low sixes. So let's hope for that. The increase for the fifth consecutive week, reaching their highest average since August. Freddie Mac noted the rates will likely remain volatile over the coming weeks as we await the results of the jobs report, elections, and the next Federal Reserve decision on potential rate cuts. So that's where we are. There's the chart, 6.72, 5.99 for those buyers fortunate enough to be able to do a 15-year mortgage, get a better interest rate, and get the house paid off sooner. You just got to earn twice as much money to do that. So the affordability index, that is not moved. That's a quarterly statistic, and it is 89% that the median income can purchase. The median house can purchase 89% of that house. So you need a house without closets. However you have to do that, or find something more affordable. And there are more affordable houses out there below the median, which is 550. The absorption rate, what market we're in, that has remained the same. We are in a balanced market that is slightly leaning towards the seller's market. And we do have a quick, and we'll probably leave it at this. We have the pending sales report for September 2024. Kung, do you want to share your screen, or do you want to work off this one?
Yeah, I can just read it off the screen you have up right now.
All right, well, let me know what to do.
Yep. Pending, let's see, pending sales, September 2024 increased substantially. And our released a summary of pending home sales data showing that September's pending home sales rose 7.4% from last month and increased 2.6% from a year ago. That's good news. It sounds like September was a good month for going under contract compared to at least the previous month and the year prior as well. This chart shows that, as you can see, there was an increase from 7.06 in August to 75.8 in September. Pending sales represents homes with a signed contract to purchase, but have yet to close. They tend to lead existing home sales data by 1 to 2 months. If we can scroll, 2 of the 4 regions showed increases in sales from a year ago. The West had the biggest gain, 12.3%, followed by the Northeast with an increase of 3.3%. The Midwest region and the South experienced no gain from a year ago. That's kind of unusual. We always hear the West not doing very well, but it's looking like we had the biggest gain in September. That's always a good sign. And this chart shows that. It shows, the U.S. as well as the different regions and how much the increase was from a year ago. From last month, all 4 regions showed increases in contract signings. The West had the biggest increase of 9.8%, followed by the Midwest, and the South rose 6.7%, followed by the Northeast with the smallest gain of 6.5%. The U.S. pending home sales index level for the month of September was 75.8. September's contract signings brings the pending index below the 100 level mark for the 30th consecutive month. The 100 level is based on a 2001 benchmark and is consistent with existing home sales above the 5 million mark. That chart shows that. As you can see, 75.8 is where we are.
Okay, so good news on pending sales. All right.
Let's see if we can continue that in October and November.
Exactly. Okay, and I have updated for you. Every week I update these. And remember, you can drag these and you can email them. You can post them on social media, the weekly highlights. Days on the market in the Portland Metro is 58 days. That's up 9.4%. That is good for buyers. A little more time to kick the tires and look around and see what's for sale. Average sale price 609, but that takes into account all the multi-million houses. A better gauge, I think, is median, which is in the middle, 5 out of 35. That seems a little down. I think I've remembered it is down. I remember median prices in the 550s in the Portland Metro. Southwest Washington, 60 days on the market, no change, but that's a good amount of time to look for a house. Southwest Washington prices are a little higher, 575 on the median. And then down in Coos Bay, if you'd like a vacation rental, which we highly recommend now that we're in the vacation rental business, and we can take care of that for you. If you want to buy a house, they're only $315,000 and you got 91 days to look at them. So consider that as well. Canyon County, the median prices are $432 and 52 days on the market. Boy, it's easy to be a newscaster when everything's just sitting right in front of you and you just read it. It makes the job look easy. All right. Okay, so it's a strong market. It's an opportunity to do something during the rest of the year. It is a time when other realtors check out. So you have to remember that. So if you have an open house opportunity, you may be the only one doing an open house. The holidays are here. People have company. They'd like to get out of their house and go to an open house. You would be surprised at how much you can get people to participate right now. And people still have to move. No matter what the season, things happen. So be the realtor that is working during these times. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
This is our time.
Thank you so much.
No, this is our century. Our gold shines bright. Because this is a network unlike any other. 135,000 affiliated agents across 84 countries and territories. In almost every Spanish-speaking country in the world. This is the most recognized name in real estate. The most respected brand in the industry. That has a nice ring to it. The leader in brand awareness 25 years in a row. This is earning accolades. More accolades. And more. Okay, that's a lot. This is making an impression. Over 27 billion of them. This is showing up big. Here, here, and all across here. Oh, and not just for clients. For the community. We're lifting up others with us. This is not resting on a legacy. This is running on it. Taking all that's been learned and seen and taught and dreamed over the past 50 years to shape and fuel the next 100. Century 21. This is our century.